Hello and welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video here on the channel. And today, for the first ever time in about 2 years at
A
this point,
century.
we have got Skratch on the channel. How are you doing today, bro?
You're doing great, YSD. Thanks for having me on, bro. I can't believe that it's been actually like over 2 years since we've done our last collab. Like, it's just crazy that the time went so freaking quick.
Yeah, because we was actually in the dev call, right? And I was like, wait a second. Like, obviously Skratch was in the same call as me. And I was like, we've not actually collabed in 2 years. Let's make that happen. And here we are, guys. But yeah, I guess in today's video is something that I like to do once a year, and it's kind of the ride or die champions, the ones that we valued the most over the past year, right, in specific areas. And usually I like to deep dive into some builds and stuff, but because we've got two of us today, we don't want to drag the video to like 2 hours long. So we're just going to kind of break down why we like these champions, and it would be really cool in the comment section below. Let us know which champions you guys valued the most over this past year. So, Skratch, as the guest here, do you want to kick us off with your champions?
Yeah, I'm gonna start with an epic actually, and then we're gonna go over to the big guns. So I'm gonna start with Hexia.
Yep.
Uh, for whoever is wondering who the heck is Hexia, is the is the undead epic champion.
Oh, is it
Basically,
undead? I thought it was demon
yeah,
spawn.
it isn't that. There you go, guys.
Yeah.
So the reason why I like her so much is because I am using her in the Curse City on Synthrenos on some of the tougher stages, right? So
Hmm.
I remember ages ago, probably it's been like three years or so since I've made a video on this champion. She can just one tap. Basically, she has some very powerful skills. The A2 grants increase attack,
Hmm.
one tap, kill somebody, extra turn, uh, bang, you can move over to the next one and one tap with A3.
Hmm.
And you're rotating the skills so fast, and just having the ability to one shot some of the tankiest champions in the game on that particular content just makes my life so much easier. And I feel like out of all of the epics that we do have in the game, she's definitely one of them that it definitely helped my account in a way where it allowed me for a better progression in that tough content. Now I know it's not going to be something for every player out there.
Hmm.
I'm not telling you to go and quickly invest in Hexia because she's going to change your account, but it's something that affected my personal account. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm valuing a Hexia over a Geomancer nowadays more for the endgame content.
That's interesting. It's cool to see these kind of legacy champions come back, right, into some of these harder
Mm.
areas of the game. So, but yeah, guys, one thing that I didn't mention at the start of the video as well, we are going to be heading over to Skratch's channel straight after this to discuss some of the Hydra rebalances and stuff. So if you do want to see our takes on that and the whole controversy around it, be sure to check that out. It'll be in the description below. And of course, go subscribe to the man. He's almost on like 60k subs, all right? Let's get him there.
Getting there, getting there.
Yeah. So I guess you kicked off with an epic. There's one that I want to highlight as well, and that is a Venomage from the Lizardman.
Yep.
And the reason for it is it's Amius the Lunar Archon. I feel like she's one of the
Mm.
best epic champions for it. I've got a high star blessing just to tank that hit, right? With the least HP on my team from the secondary form. And being able to place the heal reduction so the form doesn't heal. We've got the detonations of the poisons. We've got decreased defense and decreased attack to force the base form to go into the one where she cleanses all the debuffs. I just feel like she's a great all-rounder. She stood the test of time, but I think this year in particular, whenever that rotation comes up, Venomage is always first in line for those teams to pair with like Madame Ceres or something. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, she's really, really strong, man.
I use her as well for Amias, and I totally agree with you. She's
Hmm.
definitely very, very solid with everything that she brings, because you can basically force the boss to use the skills in the way you want. You can open with the A3, put a decrease attack on, right?
Hmm.
The boss is going to open with the A3 and remove the debuff instead of healing. Then you can, of course, put a heal reduction. The boss won't be able to heal. So you definitely have the options to really control the boss on how he's using the skills with Venomage.
Yeah,
So
and
super amazing.
not to mention the heal reduction as well to receive less damage. So if you guys are struggling to
Mm.
stay alive in that boss, especially in that alternate form, it's just a great way to keep that up. But
100%, yeah.
all right, let's hear the beastie ones. I feel a crazy one is coming from you next. Here we go.
You feel like crazy on this okay, so I'm actually not gonna go for the craziest one, but I'm gonna go
Oh,
for one of the most recent fusions, and that is Thor.
ooh.
Yeah, I feel like Thor, even though I have a pretty stacked account, right? There's no secret about it. I have a lot of crazy damage dealers,
Yep.
but still, this bad boy managed to make his way into my brutal team instead of Val the Destroyer, who has a 6-star crushing grant. Okay,
Hmm.
so I actually tested them just to kind of like get a better idea of what sort of damage they deal. And Val is empowered, Thor is not empowered. He only has a 5-star blessing, and he still comes on top. So personally, I really think that Thor is an amazing champion. I'm glad that they've made it a fusion, so a lot of people can actually get a champion just by playing the game, And he does bring a lot of firepower to a lot of content, regardless if we're talking about waves in general content, Hydra clan boss, if we're talking about absolutely demolishing your campaign, or the Mino, soloing the Mino, or
Hmm.
even in arena, So he's definitely a very solid champion that brings his own self buffs, the decreased speed, two solid AoEs. You have the basic skill, then the A2, which is kind of like a mixture in between. So
Hmm.
even though we thought he's not going to be great because he was not ignoring defense, everybody got
Yeah.
disappointed, including myself. I feel like everybody got disappointed, So
Yeah.
uh, was nice to see that he actually really exceeded all of our expectations.
Yeah, no, 100%. And he stacks very well with the Nature's Wrath, right? That's one
Yep.
thing, like, even with the Thunder changes, now that if you can get some burns out there and you can stack it up, like Nature's Wrath is such a powerful blessing for these damage dealers that have these debuffs. And I agree, I've actually
Mm.
threw him into one of my main teams, and he was absolutely whopping that Hydra boss. They stood no chance, but yeah,
Yeah.
great champion, man. So next up for me, surprise, surprise, we're just gonna get it out the way because I mentioned him in every single video. Firo the
Okay.
Barkhorn.
Mm.
What a champion. Like, this guy is just, I call him the ultimate fundamentalist. If you need everything for Hydra, he just plays the roles of like having multiple champions in your team, right? So like,
Yep.
decrease accuracy, alleviate the debuffs coming your way, block buffs, ignoring resistant chances, increase resistance, perfect veils to counter torment, gives yourself like 20% extra damage with the passive. You put some protection, you get some extra bonus there. And also a decreased speed A1 if you get like a weak hit against a negative affinity or something with Eostrid. So yeah, I think Firo is just, he's in some of the best Hydra teams out there, right?
Yeah, he's in the best teams. Yeah, he's very, very powerful as a champion, and he completely changed my account as well because he took my nightmare team kind of like to the next level. As you mentioned, he's just such a complete champion that fills so many roles in a Hydra team that if you're trying to knock him out of your team, you're gonna need two different champions to fill in for him.
Yeah,
Very, very solid champion.
100%. And even if in the future, if they was to make like a new difficulty with like broken stats, having decreased accuracy and increased resistance is just gonna make that so much easier for your team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he's one of the most important champions in the game. Like, if you guys managed to pick him up, congratulations. And where did you actually get yours? I got him from my first ever legendary from a prism. That's where I got mine.
Oh, nice. I
Yeah.
actually got mine. Can't remember if it was in. 'Cause I know he was added during Christmas.
Okay.
So I think I got him on the very first 1+1 ancient shards after he was added for Christmas. So
Oh,
I can't
damn.
remember if it was in January. Just super random. Like honestly, it was super random. I can say that he's the best champion I've ever summoned from any of the 1+1 events ever since I'm playing Raid.
Yeah, he's pretty wild.
Because I usually just get Trash Fusion champions or some other random crap that nobody uses, And
Yeah.
he definitely came in as a massive surprise.
Yeah, I was actually on a call with Saf for my one, and he was like, "Oh, imagine if you get a Firo." I was like, "All right, let's click it." And Firo came out. I was like, "Oh, forget you, IC man." But yeah, who we got next then?
So I'm gonna go for another epic actually before I'm diving into the bigger guns, and that's gonna be Mitrider Daithi.
Do you know what? I've actually never put him into many of my teams, and I know how good he is.
Mm.
But enlighten me, what do you like using him for?
So I'm using him in the Curse series and Faction Wars. The
Okay.
main area where I'm using him is stage 19 of Synthrenos. Okay, Marichka, Taras.
Oof.
He's absolutely demolishing them. Like the extra turns, they're coming in as a massive clutch, bringing his own buffs, bringing the defense down. And I'm using two of them in there, right? So one is going to be in a stun to apply the defense down, and then the other one is going to be in a savage set to kind of like put in some bigger numbers. But I cannot wait to get a 6-star for him actually. But he's definitely absolutely demolishing that stage. And the reason why I'm kind of like pointing out these champions is because those stages, guys, are some of the toughest stages in the entire game. It doesn't matter what content we're talking about,
Hmm.
it is some of the hardest content. And having a few epic champions that can literally just change your entire experience and change the way you are fighting those enemies is massive, And he's definitely one of the goats.
I should definitely give this guy more of a chance, I think. Do you know what my issue
Mm.
is? I'm not really a huge fan of the Curse City, and I never really push into the Soul Cross. Not because I'm not capable of doing it. I just can't be bothered changing all my gear. You know what I
I
mean?
feel
Like,
yeah, that's
yeah.
that's why champions like this come in play, because you give them one build, you don't need to give them the best gear. Like my Mitrider Daithi Savage build kind of sucks. It's like under 6,000 attack, he's 200 and a bit of crit damage. So he's not like on the best gear ever, he's definitely
Yeah.
not that insane. But even with the gear that I have on, he's still getting the job done. And that's why there are very few epic champions that can really impact my account in a positive way. Like if we're talking about waves, yes, Seer. Everybody knows Seer. If I'm talking about Iron Twins Fortress, Geomancer is still the goat there. But anywhere else, I don't really use any epic champions that are really like, wow, this
Yeah.
one really made an impact on my account. So I feel like Mistrider Daithi, Hexia, and a couple of other epics are definitely really, really impactful on my account, at least for 2024.
That's cool. Shout out to Mitrider Daithi. Next up here is actually one that surprised me, and I would say more recently I've got into live arena. I'm like, I finally decided I want to get Quintus, so I've been grinding the heck out of it. And I was like, yo, this grind is nuts. Like, who can really help me here? I think I was watching a content creator called Croisen, live arena.
Yeah.
Yeah, Croisen. And he was using Comedus or something, like the bomb champion Mythical. And I just seen, like, it never really crossed my mind how powerful the bombs are in live arena. And I was like, all right, who's the next person in line here? Nishak Verminlord. Like, my gosh, like, I've actually rebuilt him. It's not the most insane build. It's still a work in progress. And give you guys a quick look at it, I guess, I was speaking about it. But I've gone with, like, a stone skin. I'm looking for the 4-piece pinpoint as well. I feel like that'd be pretty cool. And, we're just trying to stack up that attack. We're around 8,000 now. Nice speed, nice accuracy. And he's helped me just beat so many teams that I couldn't before. It's like, you just sit there, you just cleanse off their block debuffs from their Elver Autumnborns or whoever that may be with Mikage, go with Nishak, boom, and they just don't see it coming. So, yeah, man, Nishak Verminlord comes back after Bomber, made a massive impact to my account, especially for Arena. So,
yeah, the pinpoint set buffed the bomb champions like quite a bit. They're definitely back in the meta, and even before that, there were a few other people that really used Nishak. Every now and then, I got a clap left and right as well from some. I feel like they might be Russian dudes or something, maybe Ukrainians. I'm not really sure, but there were quite a few people using Nishak for the last 6 months. I would say that just went in with speed teams, and you're not really prepared for it. And then they just bank because they're faster than you, and they used to gamble with polymorph, right? Sometimes Nishak used to get polymorph, but now with pinpoint, that's kind of like out of the window, And I feel like, yeah, he's definitely the second best bomber in the game now after Comedus.
Yeah, I think one cool thing about bomb champions as well, especially the attack-based ones, because I believe Comedus is HP-based, right? I think it just gives your attack percent main stats a better use for, like, the gloves and stuff. So if you guys are, like, farming for pinpoint, for example, and you get, like, an attack percent gauntlet, don't get rid of it, because I feel like it's going to be very valuable in champions such as... Yeah. So, all right.
100%.
Who we got next here?
So let me just go for a legendary champion that eventually everybody can get him if they're putting in the work, and that's Marius.
All right,
man, such an amazing champion. Like I've always said it from the beginning that he's definitely gonna be in the meta for Arena just because of that 8-2 and how nasty it can be and how it can just wipe your entire stone skin, But he is so freaking powerful for live Arena, and personally, I still don't have a very high blessing for him. I just managed to get my 1-star blessing actually yesterday after I've cried for like an entire week on videos that it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It appeared. So it exists, guys. I guess I just had awful RNG for the last 3 months. But very, very powerful for a live arena. Very powerful for dungeons if you're planning to use him. Powerful for Hydra clan boss. Just in general, like he's very effective everywhere pretty much, triple hit, enemy max HP, decreases the duration of buffs. You have the enfeeble. Very solid champion,
Yeah, I've been wrecked by Marius so many damn times in live arena. It's like, I'm always like, oh, can I get away with it? He comes through, decrease the duration of a stone skin. He comes in, he nukes me. And then the enfeeble goes up, so my harem is like doing absolutely nothing. This guy is just, he's so busted, man. So good.
One thing that I was kind of not expecting, to be honest, is his damage. Because I've tried plenty of enemy max HP champions in Arena ages ago, right? And they all sucked big time. So I was not expecting him to be able to deal as much damage versus your champions with that skill. I'll be very honest. And
Yeah.
sometimes he just nukes my entire team, and I'm like, what the heck? Like how? How? You
Uh,
know?
yeah. That's really cool. One day, hopefully, I'll
Mm.
get Marius, guys. I'm gonna show you, but don't come at me in the comments, please. I don't want to get bullied. I've been told off by Saf a lot. I'm still in the first section. It's just.
I
Uh,
mean, you have time to do it,
yeah, we got loads of time. But do you know when everyone's got Carnage already? Everyone's got Marius. I'm like, come on, man. What are you doing, YST? Stop
Are we
slacking.
playing the same game? Like, what am
Yeah.
I doing? Have I retired?
So next up here, there was a champion that I said 5,000 times live on stream around 2-3 years ago from the Shadowkin faction.
Mm.
Jingwon.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to leave that
Jingwon.
video in the description below, by the way, guys. Check out if you want to, I don't know, just annoy yourself for like 2 hours. But
every time I'm talking about Jingwon, if I'm doing a video or something, I'm always mentioning you doing that.
yeah, it's crazy. I should do it again for someone else that needs a buff in the future. But yeah, I think the reason why Jingwon made an impact this year for me is the recent buff, right? He's become very, very good for the Hydra clan boss, just as a fundamentalist. Like, let's just say, I don't know, you get 3% resisted on the block buffs, Head of Wrath gets increased attack, he's about to wipe you out. You got a way to take all those buffs back off. We got decreased accuracy, block buffs, and then also for the new event dungeon in Odin, he lets me speed farm it because block active skills, block buffs, and sending those debuffs back, countering the faction unity guy who places provokes with the passive. There's so many things that he is bringing to the table. I just think he is very good. They gave him a really good use in the game. Not overpowered, but still a really good champion in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm using him. I'm using him as well in the Odin dungeon too. Yeah,
Yeah,
very very solid for it.
yeah.
Because you don't actually need to take a turn to get rid of the stun and stuff. It's just a passive instantly, so it's massive. Yeah.
Yeah, not to mention he's Shadowkin. He looks badass as well. We like Jingwon round here nowadays. All right, next up.
My turn. So I'm gonna go in for a mythical champion. Let me break the ice. I'm gonna go in for Lazarius.
Ooh.
So, oh boy, right? That's all I'm saying. Just such a complete champion in every aspect, right? If you want damage, he's gonna bring you crazy damage. If you want to have support, he's gonna give you support. He can revive, the increased attack, the thermiter manipulation, getting the strengthen, getting the buff removal, getting the block buffs, getting the immunity on, like the speed aura. Everything that he does is just insane, and I'm a massive fan, and he really changed my account in a very good way, regardless if I'm talking about Arena or Hydra or Curse City or stuff like this.
Yeah, no, he's a really cool one. What I like, I feel like he's one of the best synergized champions. Is probably the best way to put it. Like, you could build him for straight support if you want to. You can build a hybrid one which works both in well in both forms, like to deal damage and all the debuffs and stuff. So I think he's a really good one to pick up for players that get him. But yeah, no, he's cool, man. It's like sometimes I kind of ban their speed aura in live arena and I forget Lazarius has got universal speed aura. He's a crazy champ, man.
I know 115 base speed, right? Which is just crazy.
Is it 115? Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's wild
Pretty
on that
nuts.
base form. Yeah. No wonder he's like outspeeding my Duchess and all this stuff. But yeah, I guess next up for me, if we were talking about those speed auras, well, not speed auras, but just manipulation in general, Yumeko from the Shadowkin. We're heading straight back there. And there is not a place in the game where I don't think Yumeko is useful. You talk about Hydra teams if you wish so, if you want to reset cooldowns. You talk about PvE content, Doom Tower, dungeons, Arena. She's like my most bannable one that comes off my team if it's not a man's. Like, this is a champion that has stood the test of time. And if you've got two of them, they reset each other and it just enables some broken stuff. I've only got one, but I don't think I'd be able to survive so much stuff that I do without my Yumeko. Like, she's just too good, man.
Yeah, she's awesome, dude. Like, I remember I chased her for so freaking long, and then I finally got her. Yes, she is absolutely amazing. I'll be honest, I'm not really using her as much in Arena, but that is just because I have Crixia, right?
I was just about to ask that. Do you have Crixia? Like, Crixia's like the next level above, right?
Yeah, so if I wouldn't have Crixia, I would use her more often. And I feel like now that I might not use my Tranda team anymore with the changes, right? I'm probably gonna rebuild her just mainly for arena because at the moment she's like at 270 speed or something like that on my account, you know.
Oh no,
So
I think
definitely not.
the main thing with Yumeko for me is like obviously lockout's cool and all of that stuff, but this hex thing here has just helped me. So even like Dragon Hard 10 sends back all the debuffs to the boss, like the poisons, and you know in arena, let's just say you're facing Lady Mikage or a man's, send some of those stuns back and all of this stuff. So it's a great counter to those champions to lock out some of their best champions and give you some victories, right? Have you ever used her with Karato before?
Not really, no, not really.
I
I
wonder
mean,
how good that is. Like I've not really actually tried it, and I've
the
got
thing,
Karato.
the thing is, for the high end arena, Karatu just doesn't bring in enough, you know. Fortunately,
Yeah.
if you're not looking at a very high top arena, I'm sure you can get some pretty
I was
solid
just
value
thinking
out of
because
them. To be honest,
Karato brings in block active skills, right? Which is good
block active
against.
skills, yeah,
It's
correct.
great against mythical champions, which cannot be resisted if Yumeko's on the
Yep.
team. I was just thinking, is this one of the best counters to mythicals in the game? If you can make him take a turn, in a sense.
Block active skills, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be pretty decent.
But you need Marius to go in front to remove the stone skin in case if they have it, you know.
Yeah. Go on.
Just because I was crying in your video right before, just to show you guys the power, the effect of crying every now and then. I'm already getting trash from 1+1. I just YOLO'd the 20 ancient shards and I got a brand new Cisia that I did not have before. So
Oh, you got
there
Sisia.
you go. Yeah, just now, like literally.
Yeah, all it. Oh, you like? Have I even got any ancient shards on my account? It's probably not going to even be there. Yep, 0.
I wasn't gonna open any. I wasn't gonna open any because I had like 70 or so, right? I said I'm gonna
Yeah.
save them, but then I was like, last time on the 1+1, I opened 10, and I just got lucky. And this time around, I opened 10 rares. Then I was like, let me open 10 more, and then they just popped on. So I got
That's
Cisia, which is
crazy.
new.
Sisia is cool, man.
Yeah, the effect of crying, you know, you gotta cry every now and then, and it happens after, guys. You know.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go over to the next champion. Free champion, guys. Everybody got this champion. Now, if you just started recently, unfortunately, probably you're never gonna have him. I really doubted that they will do a third time for Ninja, right?
Oh, okay.
Such an amazing champion. I really underestimated him this year. I remember, I think I've done a video with Ash talking about damage dealers for Hydra, like the top damage dealers. And
Yeah.
I really underestimated Ninja's potential on a Nightmare, for example, right? In a Hydra clan boss. I built him just for Hydra after. You have Mikage now, which really empowers him. And I've got a couple of different champions that I'm going to mention in a second as well, pair with him. But my God, like my Nightmare team used to be around 2 billion, 2 and a bit billion damage, right?
Yeah.
Ninja took it all the way to, on the very first try, when I kind of like threw the team together, 4.5 billion on Nightmare, with the
Damn.
potential to reach, now that I have 6-star on Ninja, close to 6 billion on Nightmare, you know? So absolutely insane for a free champion. I know a lot of people might not be just there with him, you know? They'll be like, well, I don't think Ninja is good enough to do that.
Yeah.
Trust me, he is nuts, okay? I was the same. He's not part of the top 10 damage dealers. I said it, you know? But quickly I was proven wrong because he is 100% part of the top 5 best damage dealers in raid, you know?
Yeah, it's the scalability factor, right? Same with like Val the Destroyer or whatever. Like being able to just ramp up over time, you know, it's pretty wild. Like you can see here with his passive. So yeah, maybe I'm in that same boat of underestimating a bit. I don't have him in any of my teams, but maybe I should. Maybe.
Yeah, if you have Mikage, 100%, you know, that enables him even more.
So do you think that he would overpower Harima with Mikage?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting because I usually use Harima, so maybe I'll kind of substitute that out and test out how that is.
Like a good Harima can do as well, like what, 600-700 million, probably even more on a crazier build.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how much you're getting with her, to be honest. But
I get around 550, 600 million, but obviously I haven't got the most busted team in the game, so
yeah. She's very strong as well, though.
Yeah. So next up here, talking about free-ish champions. I guess it's a fusion that people was maybe a bit unhappy with at one point in the game when she was released, and that was Eostrid Dreamsong. Like I remember all of the she's just a Terminator fill, she's just an arbiter. If you got an arbiter, you don't need this champion. But guys, I like this champion more than Nekmufar, and Nekmufar was a champion that I chased for like since his release, my most wanted. I still use him, but Eostrid, like. My issue with Hydra, right? If you don't have multiple champions like Venus after Lydia, for example, that plays decreased defense and weaken, you want to find these debuffs from 2 separate champions. For example, I'll like my Missionarchy with decreased defense, and I'm looking for a weaken that brings in utility. That's where Eostrid comes in for me. Decrease speed as well, right? Slowing down those Hydra heads.
Yeah.
Increase speed, increase attack to amplify the damage of your damage dealers with turn meter fills and healing passives. Like, this is a champion that definitely changed my account in 2024. And even me, I thought like, oh, she's a good champion, I'm going to go for it. But she far exceeded my expectations. She's really, really good.
Yeah, I remember when she was the fusion. I've got called out so many times by
Mhm.
different people saying that I'm just overhyping. She's just a weaker Nek Motar. And when I said no, I think she's better. I think she's good for Arena too.
Mhm.
True, I haven't really ended up in using her much in Arena because since then I've got a lot of mythical champions that yeah, are
Yeah.
kind of like eclipsing the power of some legendaries. But a lot of people are still using her even in Gold 4 in Live Arena today, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
And
Yeah.
for Hydra, I remember you were the very first one that came out and said, "Oh my god, I was actually super surprised. She doubled my damage." Like coming out and saying, "Yes,
Yeah.
she really, really exceeded my expectations." She's 100% a very solid champion, and I feel like so many people that skipped that fusion and just called her a rubbish champion are regretting it right now. 100%.
100%. Probably one of my favorite fusions that's ever been released in terms of support. I really like
Mm.
Eostrid. So all right, next up here. Who we got?
So it's my time, right? I'm gonna go for Yncensa,
Ooh,
the
this is a
new
champion that I've
silver
been
watcher.
trying to chase. Like, have they actually? They did something with the poison cloud, right? Where it can't be. Was it? It can't be spread or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, was really busted because you were able to basically extend it and
Become the
put it on all
poison
of your
head.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And nobody was dealing damage versus you. Nobody was stealing your buffs. No, nothing.
Yeah.
Everything was weak hits. Pretty much like an enfeeble. So I was actually chasing Shuzen. I was chasing Shuzen on a 15x when I got Yncensa, and I feel like even now she's really underestimated as a champion. I know some people are really valuing her; they understand her potential,
Hmm.
but I feel like she's just such a freaking monster with everything that she brings, especially for the Hydra clan boss.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Like the A1 just on its own, having the ally attack, the
Oh, I
decrease
didn't
attack,
even
the AoE.
realize that. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so basically, she's part of my ninja team, right? That I just mentioned before. So I have
Yeah.
Mikage with ally attack. I have Yncensa with ally attack. Then she brings in the defense down and weaken. That goes through block debuffs, which is not as relevant for the Hydra clan boss.
Hmm.
Uh, then you have the A2 with 50% turn meter, poison cloud, increased speed, and continuous heal. So when you're building this champion, you kind of like have multiple options. Either you're gonna go on a curse set, either you're gonna go on 9-piece protection and try to buff your damage dealer constantly with her A2, use the
Yeah.
A1, use the A3, and just constantly ramp up a lot of damage. So I really think she's very, very powerful as a champion.
That is actually pretty nuts. Like, I didn't even think about the protection element. Like, that is
Mm.
immediate 4 buffs if you can get that poison cloud on the right person. I think like this is the reason why champions like Legate Teox are so powerful, right? Those A1 ally attackers, or Mbakage, for
Yep.
instance. Like being able to constantly chain cycle that is just it's just busted. So yeah, I think she's definitely underrated. Let's see. Well, people seem to like her that's got her, but she's a relatively new champion, right?
Mm.
I guess to kind of pair up with your continuous heal, Yncensa there, I'm going to go into the dwarfs and talk about Senna. I have been teasing this video for so long. I'm like, guys, Senna video coming out soon. I keep throwing it in like teams and stuff, but I've still not done it. I promise, guys, it's going to come out before 2025 at least, minimum. But yeah, I think it's the interaction with the passive. And
Yeah.
we kind of spoke behind the scenes before we click record as well. Like, we've seen her pop up in Arena, and it's like, maybe some of you guys have been in the same boat where you face a Senna, you don't ban her, and they're like, the team just seems to be taking infinite turns, and you're like, what's going on here? What's Senna doing? Well, basically, every continuous heal that activates on an ally will fill their turn meters by 5%. So basically, every single time an ally who has a continuous heal takes a turn, everybody's getting turn meter fills, and it's like they're just constantly cycling and cycling. And she's placing 2 continuous heals herself with this one, turn meter fill in the same kit, and also an increased speed. Very similar to that Void Legendary we just spoke about, right? And
Yeah.
she also instantly activates on the A1 if you've got like ally attack or something. And for Fire Knight, there's actually a team I've seen from Faberstuff where basically you can kill Fire Knight Hard 10 with 0 freeze champions. You could do it with 2 Cold Hearts, whoever you want in there for damage as well, like a Stag Knight or something. And what it comes down to is you basically let everyone die. She'll revive and bring back all the allies to ally attack, so you crack the shield, and you just keep cycling it because she's not gonna die. She's so damn tanky. So it's
Yeah.
it's a really cool champion for players struggling in that dungeon. And overall, just like in Hydra, PvE, PvP, you name it, you could just use her everywhere. I think one downside is this speed aura is a pile of crap for a Void Legendary in 2024. This should be minimum 24% at a very minimum, in my opinion. But
I agree on. I definitely agree with that. And as I mentioned before we started recording, I actually encountered her last night in live arena, and I was like, okay, that's fine. My God. Okay, I completely forgot about the Terminator from the passive. I instantly went straight to the index to see like what the heck happened because I got overlapped like crazy. What happened here? My champions never took a turn, right? So I was like, what? And it's just so much Terminator when you're adding it up, 2 continuous heals from each ally, activating at the same time, giving you that freaking Terminator boost constantly to your entire team.
Yeah.
It's just like vroom, 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 vroom. And you're like, what's happening? You know?
Yeah, and guys, just a sneaky trick out there for anyone that's struggling with Hydra and you pull this champion. Put her in a protection set if you've got the luxury of it. And the amount of continuous heals there you can get on a champion with buff extenders, such as Lady Mikage, is just broken. And you're just getting all of that extra damage from the protection. You're protecting the buff so they can't get stolen. And you're just cycling way more Terminator than usual. So, actually, do you know what? Quickly, have I got gems? I'm going to show you something, Skratch, all right? Watch this.
Yeah, go on.
So in a clan boss, I'm just gonna, I don't know, we just do this. I don't know. We just hit Nightmare. It doesn't really matter what we're hitting. So basically, on my Ultra Nightmare,
you're using that team.
So no speed tune, guys. 0 speed tune in clan boss in 2024 for me. 3 ally attackers with the revival as well. It just ticks, and I think it's like 40 turns or something. Like, you know, it's like the easiest Ultra Nightmare you can get. I think I hit this one as well on Spirit. Like, wrong affinity for a Harima, 150, but my cap was like 260, 270 million. And it's like, just click auto. It's so easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much better now. I mean, I remember the days when clan boss used to be some of the toughest content, right? Especially when they released the Ultra Nightmare. My God, it was so hard. And now it's just like there's so many champions. And I feel like it used to be some of the best content for us, right? To do videos on content related to clan boss.
Yeah, there's a few of us.
Like
me, you,
it's
Deadwood.
so dead now to do that. It's so dead to do that because everybody has so many options for clan boss now.
Guys,
and it's a good thing.
For anyone that's actually new to the game, like years ago, like getting, oh my gosh, we just did a 2-key Ultra Nightmare no unkillable was like a broken thing to do. It was like, you know.
Was. I remember when I've done the very first team, that one kid without unkillable, I was like, oh my God, that's it. World's best team, you know, that's it.
Yeah, like, can you believe we did it with all of these busted legendaries to hit 70 million in 1 key, guys?
Yeah, because I had Krisk, I had Krisk in that team, I had Lady, I think, Battle Khazar, Vizier, you know, and I was like, my God, 1 key, 73 million, let's go.
Times have changed, man. The good old days.
Absolutely, man.
But yeah, I guess when we talk about game changers, one Dwarf always comes to mind, and it was actually weird. I was speaking with Saf the other day, right? And I thought like Call of the Arbiter was this year. Time just flies. It was last year.
Yeah, it was last year. Yeah, it was last year.
But Newt has just carried from that all the way into 2024. You talk about any dungeon boss, like just wrecks it. Shogun, Sand Devil, Dragon, like, you know, even Hydra boss. But for me, it's just any boss in the game. Newt goes in there and just wrecks them, right? And, you know, especially if you don't have a Marius, this is a guy that you're looking for to take those down. And also very, very good for the Finite Hard 10 for me. One of the main reasons I could speed farm it. So, yeah.
100%. He's very, very, very powerful. And if you have multiple, it's even better, right? Like, all of those dungeons become so much freaking easier with him.
Do you have multiples on your account?
I summoned the second one recently. I feel like when was the Odin Champion Chase tournament? That's when I summoned my second randomly. So I was just opening shards for the points, basically, you know.
Yeah.
No. I don't get ancients. I'm trying to stay away from buying ancients. Like I'm staying away from I don't know, some crazy dizzy or something, because it's not worth it to do it, you know.
Yeah.
And I had to wail out a bit to get Odin, and I just got him. So that was a good drop. Plus, I've managed to fill in all my Sylvan Watchers Faction Guardians.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, that was definitely.
Did you get this guy?
I haven't. No,
oh, you haven't. All right. I don't know anyone that's actually pulled him yet, but this guy's actually pretty cool, right?
Yeah, he's actually a solid champion to go versus Armans versus
Armans counter,
the mythical champion. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did you have any more on your list? I can't remember where we are at this point.
Yeah, I have one more, and that was the big gun, the Teox.
Oh, he left it towards the end. Here he goes.
I did, yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy, right? So he's one of those crazy champions. Not many are being added in a year in Raid Shadow Legends at this caliber, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start with Arena first, then we're gonna go to Hydra. So
Mm-hmm.
the main thing that really blew my mind: all allies immune to ship, right? So you can make the most busted team in the entire game right now with Sulfurion, with Lazarius, or with Nekmotar, Legare Teox, and Ramantu, and you're absolutely obliterating most of the teams in the game. You know, there are a few teams that are a bit harder to counter,
Mm-hmm.
but this team is just nuts, and the damage that the Teox is bringing to the table is just crazy. The block revive, the Thermiter that he's getting, bringing his own buffs
Mm-hmm.
with that A3 skill, you know, is just crazy. And then when we're talking about Hydra, let's just start with the A2, for example. You're just buffing your attack up, so you're using that skill twice. You got your attack up by 50%, and then you can just spam the A1 with another champion, and you're gonna get crazy, crazy damage with this. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
really feels like it goes up to 100%, you know,
Yeah.
for each debuff. Like, it's just crazy when you get to do damage on a decapitated head in the Hydra clan boss that has 9 or 10 debuffs, you know. Like, my ninja was getting up to like 15 million damage with the basic skill, you know.
Yeah, I guess with the Hydra changes, it's kind of like a shadow nerf to these ultimate damage dealers, right?
I
Like,
think so. I think so, yeah.
it's because obviously the main thing is we want to get those heads down as quickly as possible, decapitation bonus, and just spam the heck out. And that's the reason why players are chasing these god tier champions. They're like, "Ooh, Hydra
Mm.
damage! Like, will the HP bar of the decapitated heads ruin that?" All of
Yeah,
these
I
kind
think
of
they're definitely gonna get affected.
yeah.
All of them. I feel like every champion is gonna get hit by the changes. There is no champion in the game that won't get hit by the changes. You know.
Yeah, a lot of strategies are definitely gonna have to come to life for that. But yeah, Teox is
Yeah.
nuts. Like I keep falling for the trap. Do you know me? I'm so bad with shards. I've got no control. It's like if I see something that I really want, I just summon them all. I'm like, what have I done, man? End up with some crappy warden from
Random.
some random epic or something from Dark Elves. This dude, it's my most hated champion in the game. So trash, man.
I know.
I guess my final one. I kind of had two, but I'm just going to quickly just say, so Lady Mikage, of course, I think we both agree is a game changer
Yeah.
for both her accounts. She's just great for Arena, great for Hydra. Probably one of the best champions in the game, if you talk about like an overall kit in both forms.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would have been one. But I'm going to stick with Harima. Like, Harima's so good. I actually pulled a 6-star soul and put Crushing Rend,
Oh,
and it was...
that's awesome.
Oh my god, and the Hydra. Once she starts ramping up with that A2, you manipulate the defense and all of this stuff, and she does that AoE. My gosh, and once again, pairing up with that Mikage, we're just using this
Crazy.
A1 over and over and over again. And I see like just from one hit, like 3.5 million damage. It's like, it's just,
Wow. Huh?
it's just busted, man. It's just cool to see.
Mm.
But nowadays, that's just going to probably just kill the decapitated head's HP in one hit.
Yeah, because they won't have much HP, right? Like, I feel like
It's like
I think on Nightmare,
it's about 10, 11 million for suffering, about 6 million or something for...
around there, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I think apart
It
from
won't be
that,
enough. Yeah.
in live arena, like she's just so hard to kill and obviously stops all of those crazy ignore defense damage dealers from just instantly wiping out my team because of the passive. And you know, if there's like a Mortu Macabre or a Duchess Lilitu, you could just, you know, can't weak hit against them and stuff. So
Nope.
so I guess that was kind of our list for today, for the Ride or Die champions for 2024. It's been interesting to see your takes as well. And yeah, anything you want to say here before we wrap this thing up?
No, man, I'm just curious to see how he's gonna turn up with Hydra. To be honest, you know, very curious to see if they really went overboard with it. I know every champion is gonna suffer, right? But I'm very curious to see how it feels like it to play it. You know, so hopefully we're gonna get it on the test server at some point
Test it
soon,
out,
so we
yeah.
can actually test it out. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, on that note, that is going to be all for today's video. If you did find it enjoyable, be sure to like and subscribe button. Once again, in the description below, there will be all of Skratch's links to his channel, whatever, all that good stuff. And come check us out on his channel very soon for part 2 of this collaboration. We'll see you on a video soon, and peace.